Hello students, in molecular basis of inheritance, we discussed about lac operon concept in the previous lecture. The lac operon concept explains about the mechanism of gene control, we can say. How a gene action can be controlled by a particular method that is explained by lac operon. What is meant by operon means a group of genes is called operon. So the cluster, otherwise group of genes involved in lactose metabolism are called lac operon, we have to remember. Jacob and Monod, they discovered the lac operon structure and they explained how it works in the year 1961 like that. According to Jacob and Monod, in E. coli bacterium, there is a lac operon group of genes controlling the lactose metabolism. There are one structural gene, one group of structural genes are present, one group of regulatory genes are present here. The regulatory genes can be differentiated into three parts again. Among them, one is called I gene, we can say. The middle one is called P gene, and the third one is called O gene, we can say. I gene refers to inhibitor, P refers to promoter, O refers to operator. Remember this point. And in the structural gene, if we see, means three parts can be distinguished. There are three genes located in the structural group actually. One is known as Z, another one is known as Y, third one is known as A, like that. Z, Y and A are structural genes. I, P and O are regulatory genes, remember. In that, I is otherwise called regulator gene also. Regulator is different, regulatory is different. This I gene is able to produce a small protein called repressor protein, we have to remember. The protein produced by I gene is known as repressor protein. P gene will be responsible for initiation of transcription. It will start the process of transcription. Promoter region, it can be called. Whereas operator will be responsible for continuing the process of transcription. If operator is blocked, the process will not continue even if promoter initiate the transcription. So that is the role of operator in the lac operon. Among the structural genes, Z, Y and A, all the three of them will produce one single mRNA. That a single mRNA is able to code for three types of proteins or three types of enzymes here. One enzyme is called beta-galactosidase enzyme. Another one is known as beta-galactosidase permease enzyme. Third one is known as beta-galactosidase trans-acetylase enzyme, it can be called. When a single mRNA is able to code for three proteins or three polypeptide chains, it will be called as polycistronic mRNA, it can be called. The mRNA produced by E. coli refers to polycistronic mRNA. Poly means many. Cistron means the structural unit of transcription, we can say. So it is able to produce three enzymes at a time. This is the structure of lac operon we have seen. Now the question is how they get switched on, how they get switched off. Remember, in the presence of lactose, in the presence in the medium, what happens means the repressor protein will go and bind with lactose. So that lactose repressor complex will be formed here. Lactose repressor complex will be formed in this case. Because of that, repressor will allow the promoter to initiate and operator to continue, and ZYA will produce the three enzymes. So enzymes are produced by the operon when there is a lactose repressor complex. Remember students, such a condition is known as switch on condition. It can be called. This mechanism is called switch on of the lactoferrin, we can say. So when the lactoferrin will be switched on, when there is lactose repressor complex. Remember, suppose when there is absence of lactose, in the absence of lactose, what will happen? We will see. When lactose is not there in the medium, what will happen? Imagine when lactose is not there in the medium, the repressor protein will go and bind with operator gene. So it will go and bind with operator gene. So we will be getting a complex called as operator repressor complex. We will be getting. So operator repressor complex will be formed. Here lactose repressor, here operator repressor. When operator and repressor join together, it will form the continuation process of transcription. Remember, promoter can initiate, but operator cannot continue. When operator cannot continue, there won't be further production of mRNA. No enzyme production, nothing will be taking place. Such a condition will be called as switch off condition here. So, lactoferrin can be switched off when there is operator repressor complex. Lactoferrin can be switched on when there is lactose repressor complex. Now the question here is, listen to me. Based on this switch on, switch off, there can be some ideas we have to conclude here. Remember one point. We are providing lactose to the medium. Imagine. When 1000 molecules of lactose I am giving, imagine. Those 1000 molecules of lactose will combine with the repressor protein. Okay. Now what happens? Once if all the 1000 molecules of lactose is converted into 1000 glucose and 1000 galactose. Imagine this point. Each lactose molecule will give you one glucose and one galactose. When I say take some lactose molecule, they will be digested by means of beta-galactosidase enzyme. We will come to that point later. When beta-galactosidase digest the lactose, they will become glucose and galactose. Now what happens? There won't be any lactose in the medium available, or there won't be any lactose in the cytoplasm of the bacteria available there. Because all the lactose has become glucose and galactose. Now what will happen? Repressor will go and bind with operator. Once if you complete the process of digestion, once if you complete the process of hydrolysis of lactose into glucose and galactose, no more lactose will be available in the medium. Naturally, repressor will not have any binding with lactose because all the lactose have been exhausted. Now what is the fate of repressor? It has to go and bind with operator. So it will go and bind with operator and this process will be stopped. Whenever lactose has been exhausted, utilized completely, there is no need for enzyme production further. That is done by glucose and galactose. So what I want to tell here is, the product of this reaction will stop the reaction itself. Imagine this point. Beta-galactosidase is the enzyme. It will react with or it will catalyze the breakdown of lactose. Now that is breaking, when lactose is completely broken down, what will happen? This process will be stopped. The enzyme production will be stopped. We are telling. The product of this reaction is glucose and galactose. Substrate is lactose. When substrate is completely exhausted, when products are formed, this reaction or this production transcription will be stopped, we can say. Such a mechanism of operon is known as negative feedback mechanism. It is called as negative feedback mechanism. It can be called. What is negative feedback? Product of a reaction stops the reaction itself. Glucose, presence of glucose and galactose will stop the transcription itself. Why? Because there is no lactose. No lactose means repressor will go and bind with operator. So it will be switched off. Okay, it will be switched off further. So that kind of switching off by exhausting all the substrate is called negative feedback mechanism. There are some other operons which can have positive feedback also. We will see it later in higher classes. Here, lac operon is an example for negative feedback. Remember, that's one point we can say. Even nowadays, it is told that same lac operon can give positive feedback also like that. We will not discuss about negative feedback because product of this reaction stops that reaction itself. That is one point. Second point I want to tell you related to lac operon is that out of so many proteins or enzymes produced here, two proteins, repressor protein, remember this point, and beta galactosidase permease protein. Beta galactosidase permease and repressor. These two proteins are there. No? These two, repressor is a protein. Permease is an enzyme, enzymatic protein. These two proteins will be always present in the E. coli bacterium in trace quantities. Remember this point. Negligible amount of repressor will be always found there. Beta galactosidase permease will be always be found in the cytoplasm of the E. coli. Remember, whether this is switched on or switched off, they don't bother. A little amount of beta galactosidase permease and repressor protein, they will be always present in the bacterial cell. Why they must be always present? Whether they are needed or not, they will be present always. For some quantity, little quantity, they will be found there. Why they must be present in little quantity? Then only when we supply the lactose outside in the environment or in the medium, when we supply the lactose, some amount of lactose can go inside by the help of permease. Imagine 1,000 molecules I am providing. At least some 10 molecules should be taken inside. Then only the cell will understand, the genes will understand that lactose is there in the medium. So, to permit that a little quantity of lactose, the bacteria has a little quantity of permease in them always. So, permease is always there and the repressor will be always there. Then only it can be switched on. You say lactose and repressor complex. You want to switch on, little amount of repressor should be there always. If you want to allow the lactose inside, little amount of permease should be there always inside. That is the point which we have to recall in the lac operon concept. These two proteins are found always in trace quantities because their initial effects are more needed. Of course, when more and more lactose enter inside, more and more permease, more and more galactosidase will be produced. But don't think that in switched off condition, they will not be there like that. They will be there in trace quantities. Always they are present there. Such proteins which are present always in our body or in the cells in trace quantities, they will be known as constitutive proteins, we can say. They are called constitutive protein. They are the constitutions of our cells, we can say. they will be always working, they will be always present, readily waiting for the supply of lactose to the cell. So in the medium only you can give lactose. From the medium it should be absorbed. How they will absorb? Permeation help. So always some amount of permease will be waiting in the cytoplasm of the bacterial cell. This is regarding lac operon. Two extra points I told you in this lecture. One is that it is an example for negative feedback. Second one is the two proteins like repressor and beta-galactosidase permease are constitutive proteins. They will always be found in the cytoplasm in trace quantities that we have seen. You just make note of this. We shall go for next point. Suppose if the question is asked about 5 marks in lac operon, you must write about Jacob monad 1 point. Then you must write about the structure of lac operon. Then what is called switched on, what is called switched off. These 4 points should be written for 5 marks. Okay, students, we shall continue about the next aspect related to molecular basis of inheritance. We have completed the process of replication, the search for genetic material, transcription, translation, even to control the mechanism of gene action, everything we have seen in detail. Finally, for completing this lesson, there are 2 more topics that we have to see. Each is worth of some 5 mark question, remember. The next subheading I am going to tell you here is about Human Genome Project. It can be Human Genome Project. We are going to study in this class actually. What is this Human Genome Project and how it was done, and what are the findings of this project we have to see. Remember one point, depending upon so many works based on Watson and Crick model, finally, scientists have come to a conclusion that it is the sequence of nucleotides present in the DNA molecule that determines the organism's phenotypical expression. So, our phenotypical expression is basically depending upon our DNA sequence, otherwise sequence of nucleotide in our DNA. So, physical expression or phenotypical expression will be depending upon the nucleotide sequence present in the DNA. That is the basic understanding we have got, depending upon transcription, translation, everything. If any change is made in the DNA, that will reflect in mRNA, that will reflect in the protein, so that we will get some disease or some change in the morphology. This is the basic understanding about the genetic material we got. Now listen to me carefully. After understanding the importance of the DNA molecule, scientists started to attempt for studying the sequence of nucleotides present in the DNA molecule. This DNA molecule is made up of so many nucleotides. Already we have seen in haploid condition, it will be having 3 into 10 to the power 9 bases or base pairs it will be containing, we have seen. Human DNA, human haploid cell contains 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs in it. Such a long polymer of nucleotides it is. Of course, this long polymer is organized into what is that? Nucleosome. Then it is packed into chromatin. Then chromatid, it has become a chromosome. In 23 chromosomes, we pack so many amount of nucleotides. You know that point. Scientists wanted to study about each and every nucleotide from this large number. In this large pool of nucleotide, we want to see which is the first nucleotide, second, third, fourth, like that. 3 into 10 to the power 9th nucleotide. Last one, we should go for what is that analysis. Such a huge work was taken in the year 1990. Remember this one. In the year 1990, scientists started to attempt for deciphering the nucleotides or understanding or analyzing the sequence of nucleotides in this large pool of nucleotides. So, which is the first chromosome? In that, which is the first nucleotide? Which is the second, like that? That sequencing of human genome is called Human Genome Project. So, what is Human Genome Project? Sequencing of, okay, it is nothing but sequencing of nucleotides in the human genome is called as Human Genome Project, we can say. So sequencing the nucleotides one by one, not genes, it is nucleotide sequencing. Of course, gene, genetic makeup or map and all we have seen in inheritance, principles of inheritance also. T.H. Morgan told about which gene can be where, like that. Based upon his that crossing over and recombinant studies like that. But here we are studying about nucleotide level, not a gene level. Gene is made up of thousands of nucleotides. So about that sequencing is known as Human Genome Project. This project is considered to be a mega project here. Why it is considered to be a mega project? What is the reason for this? It was asked in a 2-mark question once in the board exam. Why HGP is called as a mega project? HGP refers to what is the Human Genome Project. Why it is called a mega project? I will tell you some reasons, then you will understand the magnitude of this project actually. Please remember, in this project, you are going to discover about 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs here. Haploid set we can say. Not only haploid set, in the haploid set, you know that there will be 23 chromosomes. But in this project, 22 autosomes have to be studied, and one X have to be studied, and one Y also have to be studied. When you want to study about all the chromosomes, autosomes occur in double or in pairs, you know that homologous pair. But X and Y are not homologous pair, so you have to study them separately, independently you have to study. This combination is called a Human Genome Project, we can say. It is not only have 24 chromosomes you have to attempt for sequencing the nucleotide. One more thing here is, this project is estimated to be costing around $9 billion US per year. This US dollars, nearly $9 billion US have to be spent for analyzing this project. That is the estimation made. So it has economically also, financially also, it is a huge project. It is a mega project, we can see. This project is started by what are the 2 departments in the US. One is called as Department of Energy. the Department of Energy in US, and in addition to that, National Institute of Health in US, National Institute of Health and Department of Energy in US, they first started funding this project actually when in 1990. Later, of course, when it was initiated, another country joined with this mega project. There was a trust called as Wellcome Group Trust. It is called Wellcome Trust. In UK, this trust is there. This trust also started to fund the project called the Human Genome Project. What is the Wellcome Trust? It is called. I did not make any spelling mistake. It is WELL only, not single L. Wellcome Trust in UK also started to funding this project. In addition to Britain and US, some other 4 countries also got involved in the project. They too showed some interest in this project. What are their means? Japan has invested some amount for funding this project. I will tell you why they showed so much interest later. So Japan is one of the countries which showed some interest, which contributed for the Human Genome Project. China is another country which contributed for this. Germany and France also, they also contributed for HGP or Human Genome Project. Remember, totally 6 countries are involved. $9 billion are poured for this project, and it is we are going to sequence about 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, we can say. If you want to imagine the magnitude of this base pairs, 3 into 10 to the power 9 zeros we have to put. Suppose imagine, if you want to understand that magnitude, I will tell you one example here. Suppose if you are making so many letters, nucleotides are nothing but just like adenine, guanine, cytosine, like that. With these so many letters, 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, if you create a book, if you type a book means, imagine you are making a book with so many alphabets, imagine. 3 into 10 to the power 9 alphabets should be arranged. That to base pairs I am telling. They have to be arranged in a book-like manner means that you have to make 3,300 books. You have to create actually. You have to print 3,300 books. In 3,300 books only, this many alphabets could be accommodated. Remember, such a large number of books we have to write. 3,300 books. Each book will be having 1,000 pages. Remember this one. Each book should have 1,000 pages. 1,000 pages. Each page will be having 1,000 letters in it. So imagine you are typing a page with 1,000 letters. That 1,000 lettered page, you make 1,000 pages. Those 1,000 pages you join, you create one book. Like that you have to make 3,300 books. To such an extent, we have a complete genome, complete sequence of nucleotide in our cell. Remember this point. So each haploid cell, along with Y or X if you take means, they will contain so many letters or so many nucleotides packed into it. That is the magnitude of this project. That is why HGP is called mega project. Why is it called mega project? It was deciphering of 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. It has to deal with 22 autosomes and 2 allosomes like X and Y. Not X or Y, X and Y. There are around $9 billion have been invested for funding this project. Then Department of Energy in US and this one, National Institute of Health in US, they started this project in the beginning. Later on, Wellcome Trust in UK or Britain, they also contributed for this point. Japan, China, Germany and France, they also worked for the completion of this project. Remember, it was told that more than 2,500 scientists have worked in this project, and for 13 years they worked in this project actually. That means 1990 it started. From 1990 to 2003 they worked in this project. Remember. So only in 2003 we started to get the complete sequencing of human genome. So Human Genome Project is a mega project because of its magnitude we can see. This is the first point we have to understand related to HGP. I will continue remaining points also, just wait. Why is HGP called mega project? That's the question. Okay, students, you might have written these points, or you might have understood these points. Let us continue some more learning in HGP or Human Genome Project. We shall see here. What are the goals of this project? Why so many scientists should put their effort? What is the important, what they wanted to achieve by doing this project? That's what we are going to see here. That is called the goals. The first and very important goal is sequencing all 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs actually. That is the first part. Go sequencing of all the 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. Why we should sequence? What is the benefit we are going to get from that sequence? Why we must put so much effort in sequencing all those things? That is the second point we have to get. By doing this work, we can get data of human genome. We can get. By doing this project, the data of human genome will be obtained, and we can get some scientific knowledge. What is the particular sequence you can analyze? Third goal we can remember here is this data must be stored also. Not simply I have discovered and I have left like that. The data should be stored. So that storage tools must also be evolved. You cannot store the DNA as it is, but its basis level or basis sequence can be stored in the form of a computerized method like that. So tools are required for storage also. That is another goal we can see. Not only storage, analysis of the data must also be done by this one. Analysis. What is analysis? Suppose if you want to study about the insulin gene, you can do some analysis, you can find out which gene is responsible for insulin and what are the sequences present in them, we can understand. That is how we have identified sickle cell anemia. Any kind of genetic disorder can be studied by using the analysis of this data, is it or not? 11th chromosome, if you analyze this, you can say whether he is suffering from phenylketonuria or not, thalassemia or not. Say, what is that? Autosomal inheritance, pedigree, everything can be studied by analysis of the data here. Not only another goal was there here for this HGP. After analyzing that sequence, after getting some knowledge, you can divert or transfer that knowledge, transferring the data, transferring the required data for other departments will also be done. For other departments, that knowledge can be transferred. What is meant by other departments? As I told you earlier, Department of Energy is also involved. So when you know about the human genome and its sequencing and all, we can find out how they use ATP molecule. Not only cellular energy, even about environmental effect and everything, you can study based on this. By using renewable energy, non-renewable energy, what will happen? How environmental remediation can be done. That means pollution control and other things can be done. How they affect our gene, whether they cause cancer, how a tumor cell behaves, how a normal muscle cell behaves, everything you will get. So you can transfer the data to different departments. Need not be related to biological department like physiology, then embryology or something like that. How a gene functions during an embryonic stage, which genes are functioning. When we become adult, which genes are functioning. When they can be switched on, when they can be switched off. All that knowledge can be dissipated, can be given to other departments also for further improvement scientifically. That is why many trust and many countries showed interest in this project. It is not simply understanding the sequence. It is not just simply writing the book. The knowledge in that book is very important. So it is transferring the data we can see. Not only this one, based on this human genome, how LC can be created, we are studying. What is that LC means? Ethical. It will be dealing with ethical, legal and social issues also. So ethical, legal and social issues can be dealt by using the genome or human genomes. Ethical issues, morality like that, some other honesty and other things, something like that, that is called ethical issues. Moral values we can say. Social issues, maybe like alcoholism or cancer causing drugs or narcotics and other things. And the legal issues, whether it will be manipulated to create some other human being, a superhuman being or inferior being, something like that. All such aspects can be analyzed by ELCI, otherwise ethical, legal, social and economic issues we can deal with. These are the goals of the Human Genome Project. So that is the goal of Human Genome Project. In 2 mark it can be asked. First one important goal is sequencing all the base pairs. Second thing is so that we can get a data of human genome. What is human genome here? 22 autosomes plus X and Y also. Then there will be, you can develop a storage tools for that information. Now analysis of that data, further analyzing that, where they are located, which chromosome, which gene has got which sequence, everything. And transferring the data to other departments for their improvement, for their future point like that. Socio-economic, ethical and legal issues can be dealt here also. So after analyzing or after getting the human genome successfully, from 2003, one new branch of biology called bioinformatics started to develop. Remember this point. Bioinformatics. We developed a new branch of biology. Because of this, a new branch of biology started to arise. Depending upon not only genetics, other group of science